The best time of the year is approaching, and if you are planning to set up a new reading journal for next year, but you don't know where to start, this video is for you. I have plenty of useful and fun spreads such as trackers, challenges, goals, and many more that you can use in your next journal. Hi, I'm Juliana and welcome back to another video. Guys, you already know that I absolutely love my reading journal. It's always my favorite to set up and update. So when I say this setup was made with sweat, tears and love, you better believe it, because I spent 7 hours straight working on this. I'm going to use this beautiful square notebook from T. This is the 8x8 square art heirloom dot grid notebook in brown, and I'm experimenting with this size in 2026. I never had a square notebook before, but I think it's perfect for this kind of thing. I'm skipping the nameplate for now because I always use the leftovers of the theme for this page, and I'm doing that off camera later in the month. So let's move on to the cover spread. I already glued that first awkward page that doesn't open all the way to the other side, so technically I'm starting on page 2. So for this theme, I didn't want to do another academia theme. I mean, it ended up leaning into that aesthetic, but the overall theme is books. I know, not very original, but I bought these stickers from Marigona Sully a while ago, and just for this theme. They aren't from the same collection, but it's the same style, so they go together very nicely, and I'm also using some other things. But I'm going to tell you as I go, and also if you are interested in something, I have all the links in the description box down below, together with my discount codes. You guys already know that I have to do some type of collage. I love doing that and I think I'm pretty good at it, and you guys seem to like it as well, so for this setup I had to do it. But I'm actually starting with a quote page. I decided to use the same idea that I used in the November setup, which is making a background that fills the entire page and then put the quote on top with some decoration. I really liked the end result on that theme, so I decided to do it again, but with book pages. Then for the actual cover page, I'm keeping the collage in the center to balance the whole spread. If I made the collage on the entire page, it would be a little overwhelming, so keeping it contained to the center is a great way to keep the balance. I'm using 3 main papers for this whole setup: the book pages, this beige paper with diamonds on it, and a very muted pink paper. These were from a local store, so I don't have a link for you, but I'm sure you can find these type of papers anywhere. And now, why the pink? I'm not a pink lover. I like it sometimes, but I prefer darker colors such as browns, reds and greens. But the stickers have some kind of pink tones here and there, so I really wanted to bring that over to the page, not only in the stickers but also in the papers. And this is a great way to separate the academia theme that I did before, since it was very dark and moody, and keep this one more light and not so heavily academia aesthetic, if you know what I mean. Of course, some of those elements are included in the setup, like typewriters, candles, ornate frames and skulls. It's just inevitable, but I really try to lean more towards the book theme. Then if you saw my other 2 reading journal setups, the ones I made in January and September of 2025, you know I used really small black cat stickers here and there on the setups, and I thought, why not bring the kitties back but in gold instead of black, to fit the colors of this theme a little better. And that's what I did. And if I do this again for 2027, I think it has to become a tradition here on the channel for sure. For the lettering, I knew I was going to spend a lot of time doing this setup, so I just decided to make the titles in my own lettering style to make it more easy. I've been doing that for the past setups and I really like it. It's very simple to do, and this way I can practice a little more and make sure in the future it looks even better. I wrote them in sticker paper to make it more easy to put on the page, and for the actual pen I used the Pentel Fure Touch Brush Sign Pen in the color dark brown for every title of this setup. They are my favorite pens to do the lettering. Since it's darker than the colors on the page, it brings your attention to it, but it still blends quite nicely with the other elements on the page. I didn't want to draw the numbers, so I just used my alphabet and numbers sticker sheet in gold to put 2026 on the bottom of the page, and the gold actually matches the cats, so it's amazing. Then for the quote page I chose this one. Between the pages of a book is a lovely place to be. I couldn't find the author of the quote, but I think it's such a cozy and beautiful phrase, and it fits this whole setup so well. Then to finish this cover spread, I put a bunch of little stickers around the quote, kinda like a very loose frame, and it's done. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think it's a very nice way to introduce the theme for the rest of the setup, and a very nice page to look at when you open the journal. Okay, let's continue on to the next spread, but first, before I forget, I'm going to make tabs. I love tabs, it just looks so cute and organized, so I knew I wanted to make them somewhere in the initial setup of the journal. The process is quite simple, you just count how many spreads you are making the tabs for. In my case it was 10 spreads, and then you have to divide the length of the page by that number, and that gives you the spacing of each tab. Mine was around 1.5 centimeters, but yours might look different. It depends on how many tabs you're going to have. If you have less tabs, they are going to be bigger. If you have many more, they are going to be tiny. So I just found a sweet spot in between, and then I just have to cut them. They aren't going to look like this. In the end, I'm going back and make them cuter. So now back to the spread. This one is all about my rating systems, and yes, in plural. I've been using the Peach rating system created by Erin Smith here on YouTube for my books, and I really love it. It's not difficult at all to use, it's very simple and straightforward, so I'm using it again for 2026. I'll leave the explanation video that she did on the description. She can explain it way better than me, but I'm going to talk about it a little either way. Peach stands for plot, enjoyment, artistry, characters, and heart. So that's for my books. Now for the other rating system, this one is for my mangas, manhwas, light novels, comic books, things like that, and I created this one myself. I've been experimenting since September, I think, in doing little collages in my reading journal about mangas and manhwas that I read, but I didn't have a very good way to rate them, so I just didn't. And I asked you guys for help in how I could rate them from now on. So thanks to you, I came up with this PACE-U system. It stands for plot, heart, characters, enjoyment, and world building. I don't have a better acronym to it, so I have to tweak it a little bit in the future, but for now it stays like this. So for both rating systems, you're going to give a rating out of 5 for each individual category, and for plot, you have to ask yourself if you liked the events of the book, was it easy to follow, complex, enjoyable, was it predictable? Was it coherent? Was the ending rushed? And did you find the story interesting? Then for the enjoyment, would you read it again? Do you recommend it? Was it a forgettable story? Did it keep you think about it after you read it? For artistry, was it written well? Was engaging? Did some sentences bother you? For characters, did you love or hate them? Were they relatable? Believable? Did they have some type of development with the story? For heart, did it become a comfort read? Did it resonate with you? Did you want to live in the story? Then for the others on the PACE-U system, for heart, was it modern, unique, typical? Do the characters have the same face all the time? And finally, for world building, was it complex, well explained, different, or unique? And so, after you ask these questions yourself, you can come up with a very spot-on rating. So let's say you give the book or manga a 5 across all categories. You have a total of 25 out of 25, so that means you have a 5-star rating. If let's say you give 3 for plot, 4 for enjoyment, 3 for artistry, 2 for characters and 3 for heart, you have a total of 15 out of 25, so that means you have a 3-star rating. So as you can see, these systems are very easy to use and understand, and I think at least for the beach rating system, it gives you a very true rating. And for my manga system, well, we'll see how it goes. And after decorating the rest of the spread with some more stickers, we can move on to the next spread, that is my books read in 2026. I'm starting by making a Dutch door. If you don't know how to make it, you just have to cut the page in width according to the size you want, or also you can cut the page in length. It just depends if you want a vertical or horizontal Dutch door. I'm making this one by cutting it in width. This was a very simple spread to set up. I just made space for 42 books. My goal is 40, but we'll get there. And basically I just divided each page in 3 rows. Each row contains 5 books, so 15 per page. Then in the Dutch door I made space for 12, 6 on each side. I just rounded the number of spaces for 42 just to make it even across the spread, and it's useful if I end up reading more than 40. At the end, I'm going to have a beautiful spread full of book covers and the star ratings, just as I like it. The star ratings and the spice ratings that you'll see later were all made by myself. I just downloaded a free-to-use PNG of a star and spice rating on the internet and I copy-paste them into Canva. Then I just printed them in sticker paper and cut them not all the way through the page, just like a kiss cut sticker, and I made it by hand with an X-Acto knife. I don't have a Cricut or a cutting machine, so I just wasted a little bit of time doing that, but I think it's worth it in the end. Okay, we are now on the next spread, that is my actual reading goal. In 2025, my goal was 35 books, so as I said before, my goal for 2026 is 40 books, so we are adding 5 more. For some people it might seem a lot, for others it might seem a little, but I think everyone has its own reading pace. I'm a very slow reader. I read between 2 to 3 books per month, 3 if one of them is very short, and it's just the way it is. I have an 8 to 5 work, then I do my side hustle, that is YouTube, after that, so I only really have time to read at night, and I'm not mad about it. I read just for fun, and just 2 to 3 years ago I didn't read at all, so it's a major improvement. And I have to say that the real motivation to read was my reading journal. All the challenges and trackers that I made were really what I looked forward to at the end of the month. So if you don't read a lot but you want to read more, I really recommend starting a reading journal. You can even buy one of those pre-made journals just to test it out if you don't want to commit or you don't have the time to set it up. So for this spread, I just made a square for each book that I read, and I think I'm going to color it either by month or by rating. I'm still not sure, but one way or another, the colors are going to fit this beigey pink brown aesthetic. I did this same spread in my 2025 reading journal setup, and I started coloring it by rating, so a 3-star has this color, a 4-star has this other one, and so on and so forth, and I really like it, so let's see how I'm doing it next year. Next, we have a spread that can be used in many ways. This one is my bookshelfie. I honestly just added this one because I really wanted a bookshelf spread in my journal. And yes, it can be used to track the books I read in the year or as the reading goal tracker. So I could either choose between the previous two spreads or this one, but I wanted all three. And journaling doesn't have rules, so I decided to do it either way. And it's very useful for you guys. It serves as even more inspiration for your own journals, and you can see which spread fits you best. So I started by making the actual shelves, and I strategically made them to fit these book stamps that I got from Journal Say a while ago. This is a very fun spread to set up. You just go with the flow, and after I stamped all the books down, I counted them to make sure I didn't mess up the number, and I had more than 40 books, so it's totally fine. All the extra books that I don't color in as part of the tracker, I'm going to color in a totally different color to differentiate between the ones I read and the ones I didn't. So as soon as I decide how I'm going to color the reading goal spread, either by month or rating, I'm using the other option for here, so they don't track the exact same thing. Then the very last thing is the fun part, decorating all the shelves with the stickers. And here I just chose the ones that fit better in size, and I think it actually looks very cool. It turned out more brown than I wanted, but that's just because of the stickers. So to balance it out, I think I'm going to use more pinkish markers to color the books to make sure the pink is still present in the spread. Since the spread was already full and it's going to look even more after I color in all the books, I didn't want to go very hard on the top decoration with the papers, so I just wrote the title directly on the page, right on the center of the spread, and then I used the book pages and the washi tapes to decorate the sides. Let's continue on to the next spread that's going to be for my Maybe Next, or as more widely known as TBR or To Be Read, and also my Anticipated Releases. So starting with the Maybe Next page, I borrowed that title from Erin as well, and I think this way it doesn't sound as an obligation, as in I have to read those books, and it's more like a suggestion. Again, I read for fun, so I don't want to feel pressure to read in any way, so Maybe Next sounds much more relaxed. And in my other setup, I put book covers on the page with the star ratings below, and as I would go on, I would color the stars. But at the end of the year, there were some books that I just lost interest in, so this time I'm just going to do a simple table with the title of the book, the author, the number of pages, and a space for me to track if I read it or not. On the right page we have the anticipated releases, and this one is for all the books that are coming next year. I did this page 2 years ago, I think, and I didn't really use it, but now I'm much more on top of the dates of the books or the authors that I want to read from, so I think this page is going to be very useful for me. I use these little paper frames that come in a notepad, and I just cut around them to make them smaller, and each one is going to be for a month. So when I have to write the book, I can go to the corresponding month and just put the date that's coming out in front of it. For this page, some people use an actual calendar to circle the day or the calendar and then right below the day that the book is coming out, but I think this way it's more easy to set up and it doesn't look so busy with all the numbers of the calendar. Also, it's not a very important page to do. You can literally do the same thing on your phone calendar, just write the name of the book on the release day and that's it. But I think it looks cute and I prefer writing things down. I have a tendency to forget things if I annotate those on my phone, so if I actually write them on paper, I'm much more likely to remember. It's weird, but it's true. And also, you can just do both. This next spread is all about challenges, so let's start with the A to Z. This is a very simple challenge to do and accomplish, so basically you just have to read books that start by each letter. For example, Hunting Adeline is for H, Dance of Thieves for D, Ignite Me for I, and so on and so forth. I honestly don't even attempt to fill in all the letters, I just read whatever I want and I fill in as I go. It's just a fun way to gamify my reading, and it's fun to see all the letters that remain at the end of the year. Or maybe you can really try to accomplish all the letters as you're supposed to do. Then for the right page we have the Read Rainbow Challenge. Here I just chose 15 colors, you can choose less or more if you want, and I'm going to put on top of each one a book cover that corresponds to the color. So for example, Vow of Thieves can be used for red, Daydream can be for purple, Scythian Sparrow can be for yellow, Lights Out can be for blue, and so on and so forth. It's really fun to do and it looks so cute at the end with all the book covers. I have been doing both of these challenges for the past 2 years, I think, and I really like them. They are so low effort and it doesn't pressure me into fill in all of them. I mean, I could try, but I just read what I want and I can't be bothered to read books just to fill in challenges. I don't read that many books, so I just do them for fun and I like it. Also, it's a really easy way to start reading challenges if you are not used to them, so just try them out if you can. Next, we have two other reading challenges. This one on the left page is my book bingo. So I came up with 24 prompts and I'm going to color in each square as I accomplish each prompt. To not make the bingo so difficult, I allow myself to use one book for 3 prompts maximum. So I can use only a single book to fill in 1, 2, or 3 prompts at a time. And those prompts are 2026 release, author name starts with J because of my name, romantasy book, complete a series, vampire story, enemies to lovers, set on a holiday, book talk favorite, made me cry, over 500 pages, less than 200 pages, a banned book, multiple authors, set in summer, cowboy romance, new author to me, horror, thriller or mystery, one word title, picked for the cover, number on the title, name on the title, did not finish, mythology, and knife on the cover. Of course, I chose some that are easy for me to do and others that are out of my comfort zone, like romantasy and horror, thriller or mystery, but I think overall it looks very cool to start. I used the lace PET tape that I've been using for the entire setup, which is from the washi tape shop, and I cut it almost in half and I'm using one of the parts to make a border around the bingo. And the leftovers are going to be used as decoration on the following spreads, so it doesn't go to waste. The page next to it is for the Year of Goober challenge, and this one was created by Jashi Karin here on YouTube. And she talked about it recently, but haven't really explained this next year challenge, so I can't really tell you much, but basically for 2025 we had 2 prompts for each month that we could choose from, and each prompt was a flower. So at the end of the year we have a bouquet for Goober, which is a little cute ghost. So for this year, I know it's about bread or pastries, so hopefully in January I can tell you more. Moving on, we have my series tracker. I know there are many ways to do this tracker, and honestly, this is the only way it works for me. If you don't know what this spread is, the series tracker is where you put all your ongoing book series and track all the books you read so far on those series. The tricky part of this is that for currently ongoing series, you don't really know how many books are going to be in that series unless the author tells you, so you have to kinda guess the space you need, and that's why I prefer this layout. Basically, I make a table and on the left, I'm going to put the name of the series, for example, Shatter Me. And then on the right, I'm going to list all the books on the series, which is 11, counting the novellas as well, and I'm counting them right to left, so that I can add more without running out of space, and then I just color in each little square corresponding to the book I read. I'm going to leave a link down below to my September reading journal setup, and you can see how it looks at the end. Some people like to write the name of the series and then make dots for each book, which is a similar way to do this tracker, and others just do lists of the books. It's also a valid way, you can choose which layout you like better, but this one is going to look pretty much like this. Also, all these pictures are from Pinterest, and fun fact, I recently discovered how to turn off the AI feature on Pinterest, and I love it so much. I was getting very tired of finding AI images on my feed, so this little button was a game changer. Moving on, we have a page that I did before, but with a different layout. This is my page for the book of the year, and for 2025 I did the book bracket, which is basically a battle between each book until one of them wins. But I found that this way of choosing a book of the year wasn't very truthful. It was just not it. Because if a book I really liked lost against another, it wouldn't have another shot to win. So I decided to do the book matrix for 2026. And this one looks a little complicated, but it isn't, trust me. Basically, you give a letter to each of your favorite books of the year, and then you are going to choose your favorites when they are all against the other. So let's say you have A against F, and F wins. Then you have C against H, and C wins. So then, at the end, you are going to count how many times each letter appeared, and you are going to put that number on the bottom row. Then the letter that appeared more times is the winner, and all the others have the following positions, such as second, third, and so on. Explaining it sounds difficult, but when you are actually doing it, it's easier. Then I did a little tab with a little piece of paper from the Dutch door I did previously, and I'm going to put here the corresponding books to the letters on the matrix, and on the other side I'm having a space for a big book cover for the actual winner, because I know it deserves it. And I'm just using washi tape to stick it to the page. And for the page on the right, I gave the title of Top 5 of 2026, but it's actually a place where I'm going to put all the other 5 books that didn't make it into top 1 of the matrix, because if they get to second, third, or even fourth place, it's because I really liked them, so I wanted to give them a little shout out. We are now entering stats territory, so this time I'm making 2 full spreads of statistics, because the ones I did before weren't enough. I really like stats and graphics, but since I don't do them monthly like so many creators do, I want to really go deep on the yearly stats. So starting from the left page, we have a row with 3 categories. One for the books I read, one for the number of pages, and the other is for the books I did not finish. Because I want to really be more mindful that if I'm not enjoying a book, I don't have to finish it, and that's okay. Then below that we have 2 graphics. One is for the number of books I read per month, so we have a column on the left with the months and a row on the bottom with the numbers until 5, because usually, if not ever, I don't read more than that in a month. The other graphic is for my ratings, so I have the star ratings including the half stars on the bottom and the number of books on the column on the left. For the pie charts I made 5 and they are for genre, type of book, so if it's a standalone, duology or series, the format, if it's a paperback, hardcover, ebook or audiobook, the published date, and then the mood of my reads, if the books were happier, sad, things like that. I didn't have a circle stencil big enough for these ones, so I just used my candle and it didn't turn out great, but in the end with all of it colored in, will look fine. Now for the second part of the stats, we have 2 categories, one for my most read author and one for my least favorite book. If we have a favorite, we also have a least favorite, so I wanted a line for that. Then we have kinda like an award ceremony. I have a bunch of categories and I'm going to put a book cover in each one. So we have the quickest book, the slowest book, the longest and the shortest. Then we also have the best standalone, best duology and best series. And for that last one I gave plenty of space because I don't know how long my favorite series is. And I actually took that idea from a pre-made reading journal. I think it was from Archer and Olive after I saw Aaron Smith do a review of that. And I'm just going to use book covers instead of just writing each title because I think it looks more cute like that. And also, especially in the series, sometimes I don't remember the series name and I just remember the books, so with the book covers I can remember pretty easily. Moving on, I'm dividing this page in 2. One is for my DNFs or did not finish, and I don't need a lot of space for that. I don't even know if I'm going to DNF a book, and if I do, I'm just going to write the title and the chapter in which I left. The empty half of the page is just for anything that I did not remember to put here and maybe in the future I need, or something that catches my eye and I decide to try out. So here is to be decided. And for the page on the right, I'm actually doing another mini cover page, and that's because the next spread is for my general book reviews. It serves as a catalog of all the books I read. I did that in 2025, and I wanted to make a divider between that and the initial setup, so I decided to just make a cute collage in the middle. Okay, we are now in that catalog, and here I make a small review and I put some information about the book that I don't have anywhere else. So I put the book cover and below that I put the star and spice rating, then on the side I write the title, the author, the series it's part of, or if it's a standalone, the format I read in, the genre, the number of pages, the year it was published, and the start and finish dates I read the book. And below all that I have a small space for my overall review. I still make my detailed review in the monthly setups, but here is just the general vibe. I made the rest off camera because it was a lot of footage, and honestly I was getting really tired for being on my feet all day. For those who don't know, my house is under renovations and my studio isn't ready, so I still have to film on my dresser, and of course I don't have a space for a chair in there. But it's okay, we're getting there. I went back and colored in all the tabs with the same markers I used in this setup, with the paper below each one to be easier to color in. Then we can go back to the catalog, and I made this exact setup in 2025 and I loved it. The only difference is that I made them rectangular, and here it has to be square size because of the size of the journal, and I also added a few things. Then I also made a few tabs on the side, and I made space for 40 books, which is my goal. If I read more than that, I can always make a tab on the side of the page with the extra books. And it's time for the final flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give a like, subscribe, and comment down below a book emoji to let me know you watched it till the end. Guys, you already know that my reading journal is my happy place. I'm always excited to set up a new monthly cover page and make all the book spreads look pretty. And of course, my favorite part is talk about each book with you, because you're the only ones I can rant about the books I liked or didn't like. So I hope you guys liked it too. This setup was very lengthy, and by the end of it I was really tired, but I think it's one of my favorites. It combines all my favorite things like the books, the cats, and the academia aesthetic with all the browns and beiges, and I think I gave you plenty of ideas for your own reading journals. I'm really excited to start working on this journal in January, and now I'll let you go. I hope you have a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!